Hey y'all, welcome to Freedom Makers. I'm Amanda, and today we picked up our Zaycon chicken order. I'm so excited to have 80 pounds of chicken. We are going to work on canning that and freezing that over the next 2 days. Today we actually cleaned and cut up 40 pounds, so that was one box, half of it. And oh my goodness, I didn't know if we were going to get done tonight. We got home and started working on this around 7 and 6:30 to 7, something like that, and it's now 9:37. My canner has just finished and it's powering down right now. I'm going to have a hot cup of tea and wait for this to finish so I can take my jars out tonight. And I'm going to show you guys what else we have done in preparation for tomorrow. This evening we've also processed all of this chicken, so in all, with what's in the canner, 7 quarts, and this is 40 pounds. So I'm going to put this in the fridge for the night. It's just cut into little bite-sized pieces. That's how I prefer to can it. All of this will be canned, and maybe even some of the next box. I'm not sure yet. Hey y'all, it's day 2. It's the next morning, and we are about to get to canning. I'm going to be running 2 canners, one double with pints and one with quarts. And we are just really excited to get this done and over with. We still have the other 40 pounds that we have to clean and cut. We are going to freeze most of that. I don't know that we'll can any of it. I'm not sure yet. So we will see, and I'm taking you guys along. So yay for day 2. This is the chicken that we cut up last night and put in the fridge. I'm going to be putting that in this skillet. I really like to cook the outside of the chicken first. It just seems like less sticks to my jars that way. And I like them in bite-sized pieces just because that's my preference. It's just easier to put in other dishes that way than whole. Of course, I've got my water that I'll heat up in a minute. This is my big canner. This is my like the canner I normally use. I put this basket in the bottom because I don't have a second rack to put in between my pints. So I'm using this today, and I'll put a washcloth in that middle piece just to make sure nothing clinks together and breaks. If you don't have an extra rack, you can improvise with a pizza pan. I've seen people do all kinds of stuff. In the future, I do want to get an actual rack just so we don't have that issue. But this actually seems to work pretty well. So,
steamer basket.
Yes, it's a steamer basket. I'm also going to be using this canner. It's another Presto, and the weight is a little different than I'm used to. But this canner belonged to my grandmother, my mom's mom. And she canned with this for years and years and years. I assume she fed my mom and her siblings from this canner. So this is a very special piece to me. She has decided that she's probably not going to do much more canning. And so she passed it down to me because she knows I enjoy it so much. So this is just a very special treasure to me. And we're going to use it for the first time today. Now it's time to use our canning salt. I've got several of these packed with chicken, and then I'm starting to put broth in it, and I'll use hot water for the rest. And I'm using half a teaspoon of canning salt for the pints, and when I do my quarts, I do a whole teaspoon. I'm also doing these in progressions because my pan is not big enough to do all 16 quarts at one time. So I'm about to lid these because they've been salted and packed good. These, like this one, needs more juice, so I'm going to do that. And then these in the front are empty because I still have stuff on the stove going. So this is the chicken. I've just been stirring it to let the outsides cook. It's almost done. But you can see that there's a lot of juice in the pan. That's what I've been using in my jars. In addition to just some hot boiling water when that's not enough. Now I'm taking a paper towel with white vinegar on it. I just use regular vinegar, and I'm going to wipe all of my rims. You just want to make sure that you're very clean during this process. I always stress that your food is only going to be as safe as your kitchen is clean. So just make sure that you get every rim wiped with vinegar. And then I'm going to put my hot lids on, and I'm going to stick them in my canner. So now my jars have been debubbled. They've been wiped, the rims. I've got the hot lids on, and they're closed finger tight. I put this middle one on top of a dishcloth and let the top come, or the edges come around it. This to me really helps it to make sure that none of the glass is really going to rattle too much. It's just something that we do I don't know that it's actually necessary, but this is how we do it. And then on top of this, I'm going to put my other rack on top here. And then I'm going to stack another layer just like that. Okay, so this is our second layer. Because I'm only got one hand here, I don't have my tripod in here right now. It won't fit with all of us in here. But I'm just going to do like this and kind of tuck it. Sunshine's listening to some music. Okay, so I'm just going to turn on my canner. I'm going to bring this to 10 pounds of pressure because that's what I need for my altitude. And this will run pints for an hour and 15 minutes. Alright friends, I thought I'd point out, we tried this burner here in the front. And you can see this burner, well, you can see some of my chicken ran over earlier. We'll have to scrub that. But this burner is smaller than the one in the back. And it turned out it was too small. The lock on the back would not pop up. This thing ran for like 20 minutes like this, but the lock never popped up. So I realized, oh my goodness, it's not large enough, the burner. So we put it to the back, tried again, it just popped up. We're gonna vent this for 10 minutes and then I'll put my weight on. And we'll let this run for, this has quarts in it, so we're gonna do this for 90 minutes. This one with the pints in it is almost finished. Probably need to, I'll turn my heat down a little bit. And when I adjust this, y'all, if you're new to canning, when you're adjusting, you just move it a little bit at a time. Like, see, it's like a hair. You just barely move it, and it does make a difference on your dial. So, keep that in mind. And here they are, guys. We have 14 quarts, 16 pints. I am so excited about these. These smaller ones we will probably use for, like chicken salad or like smaller dishes. These big ones we can divide into 2 meals because that's 2 pounds of meat. So we are very happy with that. We can make like something for sandwiches, or we can do like chicken and rice one night and do a soup with it the next night, anything like that. I also want you guys to notice that there is a difference in color in some of these. This one is the one that we used its own broth from that skillet into. This one was just water. So you can see there is a difference in color. That's because this one is more like a broth. This one is going to be more watery. You can use these as you would chicken broth. So if you were throwing this in a soup or anything like that, throw the whole can in there. We used Berkey water when we did this, so there are no chemicals in this. It's defluorinated, dechlorinated. So I'm very happy with this. Always use your broth. Use your resources to their fullest capacity. Don't drain these off and just throw this away. If I'm using this in a dish that requires that I not have liquid in it for some reason, like chicken salad or something, I will actually strain this into a colander and save the broth for another meal later in the week. You can cook rice in this liquid. So many things. It's very versatile. Use it just like chicken broth. Don't waste it.